What do you think conservatives who don't agree with Trump should do at this point in the race?
Make sure he loses. Cut their teeth for 4 years and win the White House.
Conservative columnist George Will is not only actively calling for the Republican Party to separate from its presumptive nominee, he's personally separating himself from the GOP. The writer and commentator who has helped shape Republican politics for decades says he has officially left the party and changed his voter registration in Maryland to unaffiliated. Will says one of the key factors in his decision was House Speaker Paul Ryan's endorsement of Donald Trump. And he told the conservative website PJ Media that a President Trump with no opposition from Congress would be worse than a Hillary Clinton presidency with a Republican-led Congress. Back with me are George Will and E.J. Dion and Robert George and E.J. Dion. I'm sorry, George Will is not here. Robert, your thoughts?
Well, George Will is a man of principle. I can certainly understand that. A number of us, myself included, were frustrated with Speaker Ryan, who, on the one hand, says that Trump made a racist statement about Judge Curiel, and then but still says he's still endorsing him. And so that's when you talk about the Speaker of the House, he's not just an individual member, but heading the institution. That's kind of frustrating. And so and given how much George Will, as you said, has been sort of has been an intellectual giant on the conservative side, I can certainly understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, and let's listen actually to Paul Ryan. This is from June 16th. This is Ryan explaining his Trump so-so support.
We're going to agree to disagree on some things. That's just the way things work. Mitt Romney and I didn't agree on everything. What we do agree on is we don't want another Democrat in the White House, I can tell you that.
EJ, that is what George Will and other Never Trump people are really annoyed by, this idea that there's some equivalency between Donald Trump, who is the most sort of odd candidate that the Republican Party has had since the Democrats had George Wallace, and saying it's just the same as disagreeing with Mitt Romney.
Right. I think that 5, 10, 20 years from now, we're still going to remember which conservatives went along with Trump and which didn't. And I think when you take George Will, whom I've known for many years, I love him on every issue related to baseball. I have disagreements with him on other matters. He's a brilliant baseball writer in mind. I think that Trump offends him on a moral level, on a philosophical level, and on an aesthetic level, as well. And I think especially Will has become more and more libertarian over the last 10, 20 years. And he looks at Trump and he sees a potential strong man, an uncouth, brutal strong man, and he just does not think that such a man should lead a constitutional republic. And I think his switch in registration was not just to protest against